Hello, Forex traders. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Learn Forex with Davidson. This is your go-to channel for weekly chart analysis, price action, market structure. So, if you are this kind of trader that uses this kind of analysis, or you're just starting out as a beginner Forex trader and you need someone to hold your hands and show you what's happening in the market, you want to be a profitable trader, you are lucky to see this face right now. You are lucky to hear this voice right now. You are lucky to see this video right now. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Davidson, and every Sunday I come on board here to give you a breakdown analysis of what's going to happen in the forex market in the following week. We talk about pairs like GBP USD, XAUUSD. We talk about US oil. We talk about S&P 500. We analyze all these pairs. If we analyze all these stocks market to give us a clear insight of what's going to happen in the market. So if this is your first time hearing my sweet voice, you see, if this is your first time seeing my handsome face, I want you to smash that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification icon so you don't miss out whenever I bring you amazing content just like this one. So guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about Trendline. Trendline. I want to give you guys the secret behind the Trendline trading, how to be a successful trader using Trendline, how to be a seven-figure trader using the Trendline. So this is one thing about the trend line. You might ask yourself, what is the trend? What is a trend line, right? So a trend line is basically a line you draw on a price chart. Yeah, so it's a line you draw on a price chart to help you see which way the market is going. If the market is going up, if the market is going down, if the market is going sideways. You know, we have these three kinds of trend. We have the uptrend, we have the downtrend where the market is trending downward, we have the uptrend where the market is trending upward, and we have the sideways trend, the sideways trend where the market is just going on a sideways movement, it's not going up, it's not going down. So those are the three kinds of trends we have, right? So you want to use your trend line to pluck out the price level. You want to measure the price level. So this trend line shows you the market. If the market is still going up, and if the market is still going to be going down, it helps you hold the market, right? It shows you different price levels. So let's imagine something, right? Let's be practical. Let's be practical a little bit. So think of the forex market like a mountain. Yeah, think of the forex market like a mountain. If the trail is going uphill, prices are going up. Prices are fucking gonna go up. That's an uptrend. And if it's going downhill, prices are gonna fall. That's downtrend. And if it's mostly flat, I'm talking about the sideways market now, prices aren't really going anywhere. That's a sideways ranging market. When the market is ranging, it's in a sideways market. So we don't mostly call it sideways market. We call it a ranging market. When the market is just going on a sideways, it does not go up, it does not come down. That's a ranging market, right? So you want to ask yourself, okay, if since I know about all this, how do I draw a trend line? Come on, guys. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to plug your trend line on the chart to give you 99% accuracy. You're going to take 10 trades and you're going to get 9 out of 10. You're going to get 9 successful trades out of 10, man. I'm telling you this for a fact. It's what has worked for me, and I'm coming up here on board to share this shit with you guys, man. So you want to ask yourself, how do you draw a trend line? How do you draw a trend line? So you look at the chart and connect. That's number one. You look at the chart and connect. Now, what are you connecting? You are connecting. Let's say you are in an uptrend. You want to connect the lowest point with the next point. So the lowest point in an uptrend. So that is if the line is sloping upward. So you want to connect the highest point in a downtrend. That is if the line is sloping downward. So You might not get everything I'm saying right now, but we're going to go into a practical session. I don't like to talk too much, so I'm going to show you guys something practical on the chart that you're going to understand. So before we go, let me give you one another example. Let's say the price of Euro USD against the US dollar keeps going higher, right? You draw a trend line under the rising price point. On a trend line, you on an in an uptrend, you want to draw the trend line under the price level, and in a downtrend, you want to draw the trend line on top of the price level, right? Because that is the area the market is reacting, right? So if the price of the euro is against the USD and keeps going higher, you draw a trend line under the rising price point. So that means every time the price drops and touches that line, it bounces up again. That's a trend line supporting uptrend, and it tells you the market is still going up. So saying all this, I want to go right into my chart now and give you practical example, right? So before we look at the live market to pluck out from the real chart, let me give you a scenario, right? So I'm going to pluck out my part two right here. So let's imagine we are in an uptrend, right? So market is creating, okay, let's say we have a point here, we have market is creating a high, market is creating a higher low, we have a higher high, we have a higher low, we have a higher high, we have a higher low, we have a higher high, and we have a higher low, then we have a higher high, right? This is an uptrend. This is market trending upward. This is an uptrend. So how do you draw a trend line in an uptrend market, in a market that is trending upward? How do you draw a trend line? So you want to draw a trend line from the bottom, from the bottom of the price. So you want to draw this trend line from this bottom. You want to connect this together. So many times the way where the train is starting from, many times do not connect with the train line, do not really connect enough to give you a solid. So you want to adjust your train line to where you are getting solid, corrections, where price are touching the market at really good time, right? You want to connect your train lines to the as many touches as possible. So you want to connect your train line to the price level where market has been reacting, and there are many touches at that level, right? So let's say this is a trend line. We've drawn a trend line here right now, right? Let me take this out. We've done a trend line here, and we understand that we are still on a bullish trend, right? So how do you trade your trend line at this price level right now? So what you want to wait for is, you want to wait for market to come back from this level, get into this trend line, then you get into a buy trade again. Why? Because market has done this in the past. Every time the market gets into this trend line, it bounces off. Every time the market gets into this trend line, it bounces off. When the market gets into this trend line, it bounces off. When the market gets into this trend line, it bounces back off. So logically, you want to wait again for the next time market is coming into the trend line. So when the market comes into the trend line, you are ready to buy. Get it? You are ready to buy. You just get into a buy trade at this level, and maybe your stop loss just a little bit below the trend line, and your profit target is going to be the recent high, the high that was created before. Are you getting the shit? So this is how trading the trend line, how to trade with the trend line works. This is the trend line strategy that has worked so much, and I'm really grateful for knowing this strategy. And so let's pick another example from a downtrend. So right, so I'm going to pluck out my part two. So let's say we have market at this level, market is creating a high, a higher low, a lower low, sorry, my creating a a low here, creating a lower low, creating a low, creating a lower low, creating a low here, getting another lower low here. So how do you want to trade this market? This is a bearish market, right? So how do you want to trade this? So same thing we did for the bullish market. You want to create this, you want to bring out your trend line, you want to draw it at the top. You want to draw it at the top. You want to draw it at the top. In a bullish market, in an uptrend, you draw the trend line below the price level, and in a bearish trend, you want to draw the trend line above the price level, because that price level in a trend line is a ceiling, you know the support and resistance strategy. So if you really don't know how to trade support and resistance, I have a video. I've created a video talking about support and resistance. So you want to click the link around this video, man. You want to click the link anyway. You want to click the link, or you want to check the YouTube channel where I simplified support and resistance level, how to trade it like a pro. So it's the same strategy how it works. So the drawing the trend line above the price level in a downtrend is like a ceiling. That means every time the market gets to that trend line, it falls back to the downside. So let's say I meet the market at this level. So what I'll be expecting is market to come back from this level, come into tap back into this trend line. Once it taps back into this trend line, I get into a sell, ready to catch another move. So because I understood that this trend line is preventing the market from going upward, so I want to wait patiently. Every time the market gets into this trend line, I sell. Every time the market gets into this trend line, I sell. So this is how it works. This is how the trend line works, trend line strategy. And the same approach, let's say if you enter the market at this level, your stop loss is going to be just a little bit above the trend line, and your take profit probably gonna be the previous high that formed before it tested back into the trend line. So this is trend line strategy. This is how the trend line works, and this is basically the most simplest video on air right now that explains to you how to trade the forex market using the trend line strategy. I'm not gonna even lie to you. This is the best video right on air right now. So after talking about this, let's look at practical chart. Let's look at the real life. Let's look at the real market right now. Let's look at the real life, right? So this is one of the this is Euro USD right now on a 4 hour time frame, right? 4 hour time frame. So how do you draw a trend line? So you can see this market right now. So market was at this level, went high, created a higher low, at the trend line. Market went up again, created another higher low at that trend line. Market went up again, did some blah 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 blah, came back into this trend line again and spring back upward. What does it tell you? It tells you that this trend line is preventing the market from going further upward. So what you want to do is that you want to wait. Every time the market comes into this trend line, you want to buy. Every time the market comes into the trend line, you want to be ready for a buy. So you can see how many touches we have at this trend line. This is the second, this is the third touch. I mean, this is it. So let's say I saw this market at this level. So I'm going to wait for this first third time right here. So let's say I miss this first one, miss the second one. Now this third one, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for the market to come back into this trend line. Once the market gets into the trend line, I buy again, because I know and I believe the market is gonna turn back to the upside. Now you are looking at that same scenario right now. You're looking at that same scenario right now. So what I'm looking out for is, now price has come from this level into this level. I'm expecting price to bounce back to the upside. Now this is a live market. This is a recent trend. What price is doing right now on Euro USD at the trend line level. Don't forget, this trend line is a solid trend line that has been preventing price from going downwards. So logically, I'll be looking for opportunity to buy. This is how the trend line strategy works. So we're going to go over and look at another pair. Okay, before we look at another pair, let's go back in time to see what market has been doing. So this is one of the trend line strategy I used to get into a trade here. So what I basically did here was, because I understood that price is trending upward. I mean, price is on an upward trend. So what I did here was that I was waiting for, now you if you understand different kinds of chart pattern, you will see that this pattern you are seeing on my screen right now, this pattern right here is called the flag pattern. It's called a flag pattern. What is a flag pattern? A flag pattern is when a market move from a particular level, then do something like this before going back to the upside. So this is a flag pattern. And what you are seeing on my chart right now is a flag pattern. So what I did here was that, because I understood, let me take this out for now. Because I understood that this price is an uptrend and it's creating a flag pattern. So I drew a trend line. I drew a trend line above this price level, and I was just waiting for price to break above that trend line before I enter a buy, before I go in for a bullish move to catch the bullish trend. So this was what I did, and I mean, I milked a lot of profit out of this market when I saw this setup. So in the future, so still in the past, let's connect some trend lines here. Okay, let's see if this level is gonna work properly. Okay, okay, easy. So you can see we just draw another trend line. So how do you draw a trend line? A trend line, they have to be a minimum of 2 to 3 touches at the trend line before that trend line can be considered a solid trend line. Market has to touch that trend line minimum 2 to 3 times before that trend line can be a solid trend line. And if you look at this, we have, when markets came into this level, it reversed back to the upside. When markets came back into this level, although we had a little bit of breakout, which this is called a fake out. That means market didn't actually go in a downtrend, but market retraced, broke the trend line a little bit and reversed back. That is called fake out. So I'm going to make another video explaining to you guys what fake outs are, right? So, but for now, we are only going to concentrate on the trend line. So after the market get into this level, market rise back to the upside, and there was another testing here. Now, logically, I already know that this trend line is now a major trend line. This trend line is going to hold. This trend line is going to stand like forever. I mean, it can't stand forever, of course. But for the meantime, this trend line is going to hold for me, right? So I'll be waiting for the third time. I'm going to be watching this chart, waiting for the third time the market will come into this trend line. Then I'll get in for a buy, right? So I'll just be watching my trend line. You can see third time, the fourth time the market came into this, you can see the move. You can see the massive move. You can see the massive move. Imagine you were watching this and you get into a trade at this level and your stop loss was just below here. Look at how much profit you would have made. Look at how much profit you could have made from a forex market. So this is how the trend line works. This is how trend line works. So let's look at for other example. If I can find other examples on Euro USD, if I can't find it, we're gonna go to another chart. Okay, okay, I have something I drew here. Okay, this is another example, right? So this market creating multiple touches at this level, multiple touches, multiple touches, multiple touches at this level. You can see my chart, multiple touches. You can see this again. That's it. So want to buy every time the market gets into the trend line, you want to buy. Every time the market gets into the trend line, you want to buy. You can see a lot of, you can see this. So this is what I was explaining, that on a downtrend, when the market is trending downward, you want to sell. Now, look at this. Market gets into this level, retrace back to the downside. Market gets into this level, retrace back to the downside. Now, and I told you, for a trend line, for a trend line to be solid, market has to get into that level for minimum 3 times, minimum of 2 to 3 times. And now we have the first, if we have the first touch here, we have the second touch, and now we have a third touch, which is this touch right here, a third touch. So now I already know that this price is now a solid price level. This trend line is preventing the market from breaking to the upside. So what I will do here is that I'll wait patiently for the fourth time. That is if I didn't catch the third time. So I'm going to wait patiently for the fourth time. The market will come into this trend line. And when the market taps into this trend line, I sell again. Look at how much profit. So if my take profit was at this level, because this is the previous price level, I mean the price that caused this move to the upside, this was the price level. So let's say I get into the market for a sell at this level and my stop loss just above the trend line. Look at how much would have made out of this market from this level to, from this price level to this price level. This is how the trend line strategy works. This is how it works. nine 9% out of 10 times. I'm not kidding. It works 9% out of 10 times, right? So let's look at other pairs. I think I have something on USD card. Let's look at other pairs. Let's look at what is happening and try to spot out some trend lines. I try to spot out some trend line. Okay, I think I just find something on USD card right now. So let's try to plug our trend line here. So I'm going to bring out my trend line, try from above. Let's see if this is going to work. 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 I mean, it works. It works. It works. It works. Works. Right? So looking at this now on, looking at USD card right now, see when the market came into this level, you can see this level right here. Market retraced back to the downside. Market came back down here again, get into this level and sell again. Market came back into this level the third time and sell again. Now we are having market at this level. Now this is also something you're gonna be looking out for. What you are seeing at this price level right now is a breakout and a retest of the trend line. So I'm going to teach you guys in subsequent video. I'm going to teach you guys how to trade a breakout of the trend line. You know, when a market is in a downtrend, that market is not going to go in a downtrend forever. There are times that of course the market is going to, there's always going to be a reversal. There's going to be a reversal in trend where market is okay. The downtrend is ending. Now we are going on an uptrend. Okay, the uptrend is ending. Now we are going on a downtrend. So I'm going to make on the subsequent videos. I'm going to show you guys how to follow the trend using the trend line. I mean, when the bearish trend is about to end and how to know when the trend is about to end. So I'm going to treat this. I'm going to show you guys all of this in our subsequent videos. So you don't want to miss these videos. Subscribe to this channel now. Turn on the bell notification so you never miss out whenever I bring you juicy content such as this one. I mean, we have another section here, so I can see this right now. I can plug this out just like this. I can see this right now. Yeah, I can see this. So you must be able, you have to open your eyes when you're looking at this chart because you don't want to miss any of this level. You want to catch them right on time. So you gotta keep your eyes really open, you know. So I'm going to duplicate this, put this here. See, I have 2 times. So I would have probably be waiting for the third time and I get into a sell. I get into a sell. Get into a sell. So this is how the trend line works. This is how the trend line works. It works 9% out of 10 times. You know, I mean, no strategy is a solid strategy or 100% correct, but strategy, this trend line strategy is 9 times correct out of 10 times. So I'm going to quickly look out for another pair if I have to look for something juicy we can use. Oh, yeah, we have something on XAUSD right now, XAUSD is trending to the upside. You can see it from the trend line that XAUSD is trending to the upside right now. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. This is the first time XAUSD came into this price level. This is the first time, and the second time it came into the trend line again. That is the second time. Now market came into this trend line again. The third time, the fifth time, damn, damn. This is the third time, this is the fourth time, this is the fifth time. Now this is the sixth time right here. I'm expecting to buy. I'm expecting to buy. I mean, you can already see this weak candle right here. Market is rejecting from this trend line already. So I'll be buying at this level. I'll be buying. I'll be buying. Nothing is going to make me sell because I understand the trend line strategy. This is the best time to buy XAUSD right now at this trend line. This is the best time to buy. So I'll just get into a buy trade, and I mean, right up to the upside. So guys, that is that on how to spot out your trend lines. You want to draw trend lines on a bullish market. So far we've been drawing so much on bullish market. We haven't seen something. Okay, let me try to look for something on a bearish market. If we can see something that's going to be bearish. Oops, this chart is messy. This one of the charts I've been looking at. Chart is really messy for now. Oops, I've been looking at chart. I've been looking at this. I'm looking at this. Let me check 180 USD. Um, I've been looking at this chart lately, so I don't really have something on this chart. Let me try to get a bearish movement. Oh, this was another trend line strategy. Another trend line strategy I catch here. All right, so let's say we have. All right, so I think I just get a mini downtrend here that I can pluck out something. So let's say I plug this from this up. Oh damn, oh damn, oh damn, this works, this works. It always works. It always works. It always works. So look at this trend line now. Price came into this level. This is a bearish trend right now, a mini bearish trend. How to spot this out? This is the second time. This is the third time. Price came into this level. This is the third time, and this is the fourth time. This is the fourth time right here, and now the fifth time market went in all bearish. Look at this. Look at this. I missed this market at this level. I'm not going to miss the second time. So the first time and the second time are touches that are going to tell you that this trend line is valid, it's going to stand. So the third time is when I'm going to get into the market. If I miss the third time, I won't miss the fourth time. And if I miss the fourth time, I won't miss the fifth time. So, and you can see after this breakout, after market retested that, you can, after market, oops, sorry about that. So after the market got into this trend line the fifth time, you get into, let's say, sell here, your SL here, and your TP at the support level here. You can see how much profit you would have made out of the market. So this is basically how the trend line strategy works. So you want to start applying this trend line. So what I want you to do for me now is, so I want you to go on your charts right now. I want you to be practical enough. So guys, that is all for today's video. That's before we call it a day. Don't forget about the $50 to $1,000 trading challenge that is coming up in the next 30 days. So if you are yet to join the Telegram community, click the link in the description of this video to join the Telegram community to be among the new millionaires. All right, guys. So that is that for today's video, and see you later. Catch you some other time.